Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. Appreciate you taking out time to check out this video. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, comment. Always appreciated, never required. Let's get into things. So today, we are going to be going back to a time where the world is filled with a certain type of game. And those are fighting games, right? Street Fighter came out, made a little noise, wasn't that crazy. Street Fighter 2 shocks the world. Then you get Combat, Fatal Fury series, all of these different games coming out. You know, every time you turn around, if you go to the arcades, there's a new fighting game and you got to check it out. You start to get into the virtual fighters, the Tekkens, and all of those games are really cool. And they all have their own place in my video game Hall of Fame. But this game was really cool because it was the first fighting game that I really started labbing. And that wasn't a term that we used back in the day, but that's definitely a term that people, you know, have coined now for fighting games. And this was one of the first games I remember playing that allowed you to really train and work on your moves without having to, you know, start the game on 2-player mode and have one of them just sitting there and constantly resetting it up. And this is a game that I played as far as a fighting game, probably in my childhood the most, console-wise. This is Killer Instinct for the SNES. Also, let me just say, side note, the game had a black cartridge, all right? Now, that may not mean a lot to you all, but back in the day, all the games were gray. If it was a cartridge, it was gray. But every once in a while, you get a cartridge that had some sort of color variation, and it was super cool and it made the game stand out. Like for the NES, you had the Legend of Zelda, where it had the gold cartridge. And I remember, you know, seeing one of those and just being like, why does it look better than all the other games? I must know what this game is. So Killer Instinct was that game. It was released in 94. I got it in 95. And I actually didn't play the arcade version till much later. I played the arcade version of 2 before I ever played the arcade version of 1. But I had this on Super Nintendo, and the game, you know, the cast of characters, not the greatest, but definitely still memorable. They kind of had some of the tropes, like they had Jago the Ninja. You have Fulgore the Robot. You got a werewolf named Saberwolf. You got the boxing guy, TJ Combo. But then you also had characters that, you know, you hadn't really seen before. Like they have 2 elemental creatures. There's a fire creature named Cinder. There's the ice creature Glacius. And then you have people like Raptor, Spinal, Orchid, you know, and then the last boss, who is a 2-headed ogre named Idol. And this game, like, if you play Killer Instinct, you know it's all about the combos, right? And this game was like, back then combos were kind of like a couple of hits. Maybe you do like a punch before you do your Shoryuken, or you do like, you know, a jab, you know, throw out your spear with Scorpion or something like that, but never to the extent to where, you know, it was not uncommon to see a 15-hit combo. That's what Killer Instinct did. It was like the more hits, the better. And the style of it, it was very different. It wasn't quite photorealistic like Mortal Kombat. It wasn't quite cartoony like Street Fighter. It was just like a nice blend of them. And I really liked this game. I mean, I played it to death. I mean, this is the first game where I tried to learn, like, because it had so many more moves because of the combo system. This was like Street Fighter, you know, on 12 when I was a kid. It's like, oh man, I could do a 5-hit combo on Street Fighter, and that's really cool and hard to do. But I can do an 18-hit combo on Killer Instinct, and it looks super cool. And then also, like Mortal Kombat, it had finishing moves. So I got the combos of Street Fighter with the finishing moves of Mortal Kombat. Like, I was in love. And all the different sayings for how many hits you did. So instead of it just saying 5-hit combo, you know, it says super combo. Instead of it saying, you know, 10-hit combo, it says monster combo. Once you hit 12, it starts saying killer combo for everything. But I didn't care. Like, tell me, instead of saying the numbers, you know, they gave it a cool phrase. So that was super cool. Announcer's all loud and he's into it, keeps you into it. And the game had a lot of strategy to it. And this was like the first game where I felt like I could beat anybody in my neighborhood. And that was, you know, that's a big statement. That's a bold statement. But with this game, I felt like I practiced enough that was true. Now, I'm not saying I was a pro player or anything like that. Let's not get crazy. But at the time, you know, anything was possible. I just watched Angels in the Outfield, so my thoughts and possibilities were at an all-time high. But I really enjoyed this game. I remember playing the second one in arcades and being like, okay, yeah, I played the first one, so I definitely know how to get down on this one. And I got cooked. And also I realized that competing against someone versus playing someone at the house is two different things. That was like my first foray into that. And I thank Killer Instinct for giving me an unnecessary sense of overconfidence to get humbled real quick. But if you played this game, who were your favorite characters? Do you remember any of the moves? You know, what's your memorable moment with this? Did you beat it? Because Idol was not an easy character to go up against. The game can definitely get a little cheap with the combo breakers and stuff like that. So if you have memories like that, please let us know in the comments. I always enjoy hearing your memories of these games. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Have fun, be safe.